All right, so the other half of this unit basically is about what's called a finance charge. When you use a credit card or a charge account, that isn't free. The bank or the company that owns that account will charge you a percentage of what's called your unpaid balance. So, we just finished January, going into February. So, what would happen is they look at what you started January with, and then they figure out how many dollars you paid off as far as like a payment to reduce your balance, and then they calculate what's called a finance charge. Basically, you don't pay any sort of interest on charges you make during a month. You pay them the following month. So any purchases I made in January, I don't pay an interest on until February. So I'll kind of show you some examples I think that'll clear that up. But the idea is we need to figure out the unpaid balance before we calculate our finance charge. And I will show you 100% how to do that. So what we're looking at here, it's some pretty simple calculations, but I'll walk you through a couple of them to kind of help you out here. Okay, so we're going to have to do, and I feel like I need to do this because some of you are still struggling. We're going to have to do a percentage calculation. So if our credit card charges us, say, 1.5% for the unpaid balance, we're going to have to change that into a decimal. We would be using 0.015. Okay, you have to move those decimals before you multiply. All right. So you can come back and look at this if you want. I think it's a little more complicated than it need be. So what we're going to do to figure out our unpaid balance, we're going to take our previous balance. So if this is like January's balance coming into January, and then we made any payments in January, right? This would be what we're starting February with, if that makes sense. So you kind of have to figure out the unpaid balance. Then you're going to calculate your finance charge. That is that unpaid balance times your percentage that we just talked about. So whatever you calculate here, your balance minus any payments and credits, that's what you're going to take times your percent. Then to get your new balance starting the new month, you're going to add up your unpaid balance, that finance charge, and any new purchases you make. You won't pay a finance charge on these purchases until the following month. Credit card companies, charge accounts, they give you a month to pay off your balance. So any new purchases, if you can pay for those in full at the end of that month, you do not have to pay a finance charge on them. That's how you effectively use a credit card. Make the full payment every single time. That's not always possible, but that's what you should be doing. Okay, so excuse me. So we've got a previous balance of $600 and we made some payments or we had some credits that totaled $100. That means that our unpaid balance is $500. We still owe Visa, MasterCard, whoever, $500. Then we're going to calculate the finance charge of 1.5%. So you're going to have to change that to 0.015 before you multiply 0.015. So our finance charge is going to be $500 times 0.015, which is $750. So now I'm going to go back and add up our unpaid balance, our finance charge, and our new purchases. That is $577.50. Okay, the first part of your homework is just like this. You've got a table, fill in the 3 boxes, they'll turn green if they're right. All right, $220 is the previous balance, $150 in payments and credits, so our unpaid balance is $70. So I take that $70 times 0.015. Our finance charge is $1.05. So $70, $1.05, and $95. Our new balance starting the new month is $166.05. Okay, the tricky part, in the past, people that have had issues with this, it's been calculating this right here. They don't understand that you have to figure out the unpaid balance before you calculate the finance charge. Okay, unpaid balance. I'm sorry, the periodic rate. I didn't mention what that is, but usually, you'll see, a credit card's offering like a 20% interest rate. What they will do, if it's 20%, what's called APR, annual percentage rate, What that means is per month, you're paying 1/12 of that. That's where these periodic rates are coming from. So periodic rate and APR are related, but they are not the same thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's really not that big of a deal. I will give you the percentage every single time for what you need to use.